Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, it is the Sim500 TranService Truck Series from Kentucky Speedway. Let's get right into the wonderful people I have up in the booth with me. It is the one and only Mr. Crew Chief himself, Gary Wells.
Well, thank you, AJ. It's a pleasure to be here in the Bluegrass State, home of the Kentucky Derby. But tonight we're seeing a different kind of horsepower. These trucks at Kentucky Speedway, very excited. It's going to be a fun race.
And let's go to Crew Chief with all the hours of sleep, Mr. Mike Campiggio.
Funny. I know somebody that's going to get a laugh out of that. Gary, AJ.
That's why I said it.
Glad to be back with you guys after last week. I saw you guys had a very exciting race last week in Indianapolis, so I'm glad to be back. I want to thank Joe Hutchings for stepping in for me last week, and I'm excited to get back, see some action here tonight at Kentucky with y'all.
We had to get you in the chair.
We do. Well, that wasn't me. That must have been somebody else. I'm fine. I haven't moved. We're good. I'm actually still standing from the national anthem. I don't know why I'm still standing.
Because you're American.
We are in Sparta, Kentucky, here at the Kentucky Speedway. Gary, let's do that tail of the tape. What do we got?
Man, I ain't got a damn thing. But here's why. This is the first time they've raced at Kentucky. So we are witnessing history here tonight. And by the end of this race, we're going to be opening up those history books for the inaugural winner at Kentucky Speedway for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series.
Yeah, thank you, Gary, for that. That was a little kind of inside joke because I literally looked at the notes that Gary prepared, and I was like, out of all the tracks, they haven't gone to this one?
You know,
really?
This track is a very underrated mile and a half, and I'm actually glad they picked the good version of this speedway, the 2011 configuration, because this place, AJ, it has all the driver options. It's very bumpy, has a lot of character to it. So we're definitely going to see these guys all over the racetrack, all the way from the yellow line, all the way up to darn near the fence here at the end of these fuel runs. Track position, though, is going to be very important, as it is pretty hard to pass here at Kentucky.
Well, that's what we're talking about for the race. Mike Campiggio, how are these drivers going to attempt to qualify around this mile and a half?
Well, you're really going to want to be aggressive on your first and second lap. You want to try to stay as much in the throttle as you can with these corners, and you want to get your best lap in possible because, like Gary said, track position is going to mean everything since it's hard to pass. So you're really going to have to give it your all in the these first two laps here.
Looking at the 15 of Joe Hudson running that Daytona Talladega outside lane to get to his go lap, crosses the line immediately to that yellow line, bounces it back out towards the wall entering turn one, and it looks like a high arching turn one to a low exit in turn two. Gary, is that basically how you want to run it?
Yeah, that's basically how you want to run it here. The tires are good here. You're fully taped up for your qualifying trims, so you're definitely going to be running that yellow line as best you can, as low as you can. There are a lot of bumps in that bottom lane, so we might see them run about a lane up. I don't see Joe Hudson here, but definitely execution is key for this qualifying run.
And as we expected, first car on, first car to take time, Joe Hudson, P1. And he's going to hold on to that as Swinehart, Fury, Mojica, and Benfield all cross the line.
Yeah, Joe didn't really hesitate there to show all of his muscle there. So we'll have to see how his second lap is.
Body P1.
Yeah, Foddy P1 there. Let's see if Joe Hudson can improve here. He's coming to the start-finish line here. And he ran a 2:58, and that will be a pole run, except Wesley Donaldson from out of nowhere.
It's like an RKO out of nowhere, but throw that out. Wesley Donaldson goes P1, and then there goes Pedro Mojica.
Mojica exists.
Looks like people are getting better on that second lap as Tommy Ryan goes P2. We're staying with Wesley Donaldson. Can he improve? Out of 4 to the line. Yeah, does that 91?
And you see how rough that transition is down there, AJ. Rough
No,
transition
slower.
from the racetrack to the apron. So that'll be something these guys will have to watch out here for tonight, is their surroundings and getting onto that apron. We've seen them do it
Karlovich P1.
some mile and a halfs, but during the race, it's gonna be tricky. Yeah,
Great
Karlovich
lap
there,
by
P1.
Yeah, a 32.15.
Yeah, qualifying's been pretty close here tonight. So these guys are all right there. We got three drivers here in the 32 teens, and then the rest. There's a lot of guys in the 20s. So pretty competitive field here.
Does Karlovich improve? No, he's going to run the exact same lap time. Coleman crosses the line. Does he improve? No, he does not. Scott Simley in the 12 out of 4. Doesn't arch it like we've seen other drivers.
Yeah, I think Jason actually hit the wall, so his time isn't being allowed for that second lap. So he must have scraped the wall or something there.
Brian Macklin, his first lap goes P7. It's a great looking Toyota Tundra having the navy colors all over it.
Yeah, it's a good looking truck. He's been running that all season, and it's promising good luck. He's won a couple races, so maybe he'll get his third win here tonight.
Yeah, and then he can add another one of those photos to the pre-roll we have before every race. And look at those bumps on the apron there. I think that might have hurt him.
Yeah, those bumps are tricky down there on the apron.
Doug Roth in his famous 43 Silverado. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. About a 10th lower. And nobody else on the racetrack with 45 seconds left. All right, gentlemen up in the broadcast booth and everybody watching at home, let's hear it in the chat. Who you're rooting for, who you think is going to win. But let's start with what we have up here. Gary Wells, who did you pick tonight?
Brian Wertman, the sentimental favorite for a lot of people.
There was no thought into that. He's just like, boom, that's who I'm picking. Wertman, got it.
Got to go with the
Mike Campigio.
Guys, I'm going to go with Josh Parker tonight. Josh has had a really good runs here this season so far since he's joined the league. So I'm looking for some more exciting things out of Josh tonight.
So I put my pick in, and Mike can throw this in there because he saw it. I picked Jason Karlovich. And P1, baby. Woo!
So far, he's off to a good start.
Got about a minute of warm-up, and that's where we're going to do our shameless plugs. Because, perfect time to, as everybody's getting back on the racetrack and maybe getting that one lap. I want to thank the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. Check them out every Thursday for new episodes on their YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. This week, they are talking about Across the Spider-Verse. Unfortunately, with the passing of Bray Wyatt last week, they canceled last week's episode to do a tribute to him. The Wrestling Over Everything Facebook group, if you're into wrestling, speaking of Bray Wyatt. WWE, TNA, New Japan, AEW, go check them out. Falcon Grafix, $5 off your first vehicle wrap when you mention All-Star 15 TV. That is on their Facebook page. Message Falcon Graphics and Mick will get you hooked up with $5 off your first wrap. The Drinking Barrels Auto Racing page. Basically, it's wrestling over everything, but racing. F1, NASCAR, NHRA. I think I said that right.
All the above.
Yes,
Anything
all the
motorsports.
above. And also, you want to support All-Star 15 TV outside of hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, following. We sell merch. Go check it out. I'm currently wearing one of my very, very comfy t-shirts. They're very reasonably priced, and all of it helps out the channel to get myself and the people working on the channel better equipment to bring you these races. With that being said, let's go through our starting lineup here at Kentucky Speedway. On pole, it is Jason Karlovich and Pedro Mojica outside pole. Row number 2, it's Tommy Ryan and Wesley Donaldson. Row 3, Mike Montesi, Joe Hudson. Row 4, it's Doug Roth and Brian Macklin. Seth Foddy and Chad Coleman are starting in that 5th row. Gary, take us all the way to 20.
All right, we got Hamish Gallagher starting just outside that top 10, 11 spot. 12th is going to be EJ O'Rourke. 13th is going to be Kevin Stone. 14th is going to be Randy Yoakum. 15th is Scott Simley. 16th is John Schweikert. 17th is going to be John Higman Jr. 18th is going to be Richard Beasley. 19th is Nelson Rivera. And rounding out that top 20 is Jeff Ryan. On to you, Mike.
In 21st, we have Robert Fieri. In 22nd, we have Steve Ritter. In 23rd, we have Kevin D. Brown. In 24th, we have J. Randall Watkins. In 25th is Stoney Benfield. In 26th is Bentley Glazier. In 27th is Josh Parker. In 28th is Mike Kelly. In 29th is Ron Hollyfield. In 30th is Doug Sigmund. And in 31st, rounding out the field tonight, is Brian Wertman.
All right, gentlemen, and everybody watching at home. Everybody here at the racetrack is up on their feet, waiting for that green flag. That pace truck is going to dive down pit road and send all these Kentucky horsepowers down into turn number 1. Again, who you got? We want to see it in the chat. Maybe if you got something good, we'll talk about it. But are you guys ready? Gary? Mike?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's almost time to get her going. Pace truck is off, and we are green here at Kentucky Speedway. Man, they really delayed that one out as Karlovich with an excellent launch to start this race. Ryan and Mojica behind him, battling for second, and not a battle anymore.
Yeah, not a battle much there for that second spot, but we're seeing these trucks 2 by 2 all the way through 4.
Joe Hudson turned around, and we got the big one, boys.
Big crash here. I see Brian Macklin's involved. Doug Roth, unfortunately, involved in that.
EJ O'Rourke has big damage.
That is very unlike Sim500 on an opening lap. Let's see what happened here from our drone cam. Ooh, Doug Roth just in there a little too hot.
Yeah, it looked like 43 kind of overshot the entry, but also you can kind of see Joe was just trying to turn down for the corner, so I don't know if maybe he was expecting Doug to check up a little sooner to also make that same arc, but didn't happen, as you can see. But I believe Joe got away with the least amount of damage right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Gonna take a look from the aerial view here. There's Macklin.
Joe Hudson did a really good save right there. That was a very good save on the left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah, it looks like Chad Coleman with a lot of damage there in that one.
Yeah, he's got a lot of rear end damage.
Well, fortunately for Josh, who missed the start of this race, I don't know if he's still connected or if he disconnected or whatever, but
I think Wertman also missed the start of this race.
he did, and he avoided that entire thing as well. So good on him for being able to avoid the wrecks there.
Yeah, it'll put him back on the lead lap, so that's good. He's just going to be 23rd out of 31 drivers to start. But you're watching All-Star 15 TV here on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Like I said, give it a like, give it a subscribe. We're here every Wednesday for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. And man, lap 1, we don't normally see some carnage, and tonight saw some carnage, gentlemen.
Yeah, especially on the first lap. Normally these guys give each other a lot of respect and a lot of room, but you know, things happen sometimes. We're not perfect. We're all humans after all, and unfortunately that swept a couple other trucks that normally we're used to seeing running up in the front.
Also, I want to throw this out there. I would assume a lot of these drivers are used to running the now current Kentucky. We are at Legacy Kentucky, and Gary, give us the differences between the two.
Well, this is about the 2011 or 2012 scan. So right around when NASCAR first started coming to Kentucky Speedway in the early 2010s, and by NASCAR I mean the Cup Series. You had the Xfinity and the Truck Series here for a long time, but wider turn one, both ends of the racetrack are banked the same. A lot more bumps, a lot more character to this racetrack. Whereas the current Kentucky, it is a narrower turn one, a little bit more banking. I believe it's like 18 or 20 degrees with progressive banking, and then down here in turns 3 and 4, that they kept that the same. Wide area there. Only about 14 or 15 degrees of banking in the corner there. So, two different sides of the racetrack there. The new Kentucky, but this one here, multiple lanes of racing. Um, Very flat for a mile and a half. This is probably the flattest mile and a half NASCAR's gone to in a long time. So, but still produces a lot of good racing.
And you have our buddy Scott Ramler in the chat goes, "It's Kentucky. It's the way we do things." And he goes, "I'm more qualified on this issue than Gary." I'm pretty sure, didn't Scott work here as EMS?
Yes, he worked here as EMS on both the old layout and the new one. So, if there's anybody that's got, there you go. See, I was close. I was close on the banking.
You were very close.
And I
Wow.
See, Scott, if there's anybody that's more qualified, it's definitely Scott. This is his home track. My home track is the house that AJ Foot built.
And what he said in the YouTube chat, because I know you guys can't see it, 17 degrees in turn 1 and 2 and 14 in 3 and 4.
And I believe
Not a lot of banking.
I believe the new Kentucky got a bunch of, was it PJ1 or something like that they put on that, and the racing there at the new Kentucky just made it unraceable. It's a lot of single file grooves.
And they don't even go there anymore, I'm pretty sure.
Nope, not after 2020. But that was, Scott was saying too, that was a lot when the bumps were starting to come back, and the racing would have been okay. Just, the PJ1 that they put down just absolutely destroyed that racing surface.
All right, well, we're just a little bit away from going back green. First time the Sim500 TranService Truck Series has come to Kentucky Speedway in any iteration. And there goes the pace truck. And we are now in control of Jason Karlovich. Waiting for that drop the hammer. There it is.
Yeah, they had the restart zone here at this old Kentucky right by the start-finish line where the new one, the new scan, it is further back over more towards the exit of turn 4. So I think we're going to experience a lot of delayed greens here tonight because of that.
Yeah, we saw that in our restart shot. Very, very close to the start-finish line, and I don't really think that helps anybody out. I don't even think that helps the leader out.
Yeah, it doesn't give anybody one distinct advantage, so kind of makes it a level playing field, if you will.
Oh, trouble in the wall! Richard Beasley and John Schweikart, sorry, and Hamish Gallagher is in it as well. Another hard incident in turn 1.
Beasley.
DJ at work got damage to that as well.
Not the tide ride.
Well, let's take a look at this.
They were 3 wide there. Oh, looked like Gallagher and Schweikart maybe got together. Maybe it was neck code. 3 wide here.
Just came up.
Ooh, yeah, John just came up there. Maybe he thought Hamish was going to give a little bit more room. Maybe he didn't know they were 3 wide there for a minute.
I don't think Hamish really could have given a little more room. He had Beasley straight to his outside.
Yeah. No, not a whole lot more room he could have given there. So, unfortunate situation there. I mean, it's part of racing. Back-to-back cautions here.
Yeah, very weird for the Sim500. I know they're at a track that they haven't run here before, but very interesting that, 2 cautions in less than 10 laps, which we're going to take a quick commercial break, everybody. When we return, it'll be the restart here at Kentucky Speedway.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
And we are back from Kentucky Speedway. You're watching All-Star 15 TV. I'm AJ Capole. I have Gary Wells, Mike Campiggio up in the broadcast booth. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. How are you guys doing on Wednesday? How are you guys? But Gary, Mike, how are you guys doing? It's been a very eventful 10 laps we've had here at Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, definitely a very eventful 10 laps. You had a wreck on the first lap of the race going into 3, and then we had the restart, and they wrecked going into turn 1, a 3-wide situation. So, been a wild and crazy race so far, to say the least here.
Yeah, it's a very wild and crazy race, and we still have about 90 laps to go, so it's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah, how are the tires here, Gary? 'Cause I know you've probably run this racetrack probably double the amount of Mike and I combined. Are fresh tires, are cold tires an issue here?
I wouldn't say they're an issue. I think it's just, you have these 4 tires and they're really good. It's kind of like racing at old Atlanta or old Texas there for a while, where you could tell there was a big fall off after about 7 or 8 laps, which you can have here.
Okay.
But I think everybody's just trying to go for it all here because they know that everybody's fast and it's really hard to pass. So they feel like they got to get all they can on these restarts.
Makes sense. And on pit road, there's Brian Workman, EJ O'Rourke, and Chad Coleman all on pit road. So probably still trying to repair some of their damage before we go back green. And Chad Coleman was on pit road for a total of a minute 51. So that's quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and Jeff Ryan, I don't know if we talked about him in that accident, but he did get a little bit of a piece of that accident going into turn 1, so he was on pit road for a while.
Yeah, I'm showing Jeff Ryan is actually disconnected.
Well, that's unfortunate. Well, Pace Truck is off, getting ready to go green again. And there it is. Excellent launch once again by Jason Karlovich. Tommy Ryan's going to duck in right behind.
Looks like they're peaking at 3 wide again here, back behind Pedro. But they end up sorting it out and back to side-by-side racing here.
Yeah, of course, Pedro always up towards the front, looking like he's trying to hook that yellow line. It's going to float it back up towards the wall and try to stay in Ryan's draft.
Yeah, you could definitely hook that yellow line around here if you back up your corners right. It can save your tires as well. The less you slide your tires here at Kentucky and take care of those things, the better off you're going to be.
Looks like we had a great battle back here already. Dimley, Donaldson, Yoakum.
Some tight racing right there amongst those three trucks. Yoakum, especially with Donaldson all over the door of that 91 truck. This is kind of the racing that Kentucky can provide. A lot of 2 and 3 wide action, really tight racing here, and I mean, we're seeing it on full display here right now.
Yeah, now that the trucks are up at full song, flying down the backstretch. There goes Kevin Brown. Look at him moving up 14 positions.
Yeah, and you got to be careful running on the bottom, especially here at Kentucky. Very, very bumpy down there. And it can cause your truck to break loose or get into a little bit of a slide and push the nose up into the guy on your outside. So a lot of room has to be given amongst these guys, a lot of respect given.
All right, we're going to jump on board with the 12 of Seth Waddy as he's going to try to close in on Mike Montesi. Love having these cams back.
Looks like Seth has a visitor. Looks like a child visiting.
With a big smile on his face, too.
That's awesome. And you see Seth right here. iRacing's for everyone. You see Seth having to talk to his daughter there and had to move the earphone up there a little bit and still keeping a hand on the wheel, holding the pretty wheel. And that's what you want to see at Kentucky as well. Just perfect wheel placement, not moving the wheel too much, and just being very smooth.
Well, let's jump to our second driver here tonight, Mike Kelly, with his name actually spelled right tonight. He's in 13th, up 15 positions.
Yeah, Mike Kelly runs smooth here too. Taking a little bit of a different approach than Seth. He's hugging more so the bottom of the racetrack.
You know, these driver cameras too is a really cool addition to the broadcast because it shows the fans at home what these drivers go through in their sim rigs.
Yeah, you can see Mike here. He's a triple monitor guy. I believe Seth was as well. You see the thousands of dollars they pour into these things. Look at the he's actually looks like he's racing with a Formula win there, guys. But he's holding that thing at 9 and 3.
That's what they tell you to do, right? Just in case the airbags go off.
That's right.
Let's jump back to our full cam here. Always great to take a look into what these drivers are looking like and dealing with.
Scott got me on that one. I'm sorry.
Huge shout out to Drew Trader for making me that background for it.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Nate, that's rude. That's rude. I hope his daughter unplugs the router. That's rude. Up front, Tommy Ryan has taken over the lead, but Karlovich right behind him. Let's go back and watch that pass for the lead. Off of turn 4, across the line. Beautifully set up by the 99.
Yeah, he made that pass look very, very easy.
And then sent it into 1, and it looks like Jason it's early. Go take it.
Yep, exactly. And that's what you love about Sim500. A little bit of give and take there. Sure, he made him earn it, at least coming off of 4 and down the straightaway there, but he knew once Tommy had the position, like, hey, just gonna let you go here. It's early. I'll chase you back down later. But yeah, you still see Jason here still near the tailgate of that 99 truck. Yeah,
Not
it looks
letting them
like
get
it's
away.
kind of a pack of four, really, at this point, all within a second of each other, half second even.
Oh, but then we go back to this cluster.
Yeah, back here in about fifth on back, it's really starting to form a pack over here.
As I say that, they get all straightened up and
Well, I mean,
taking a look at
they
Kevin
do
Stone.
tend to run different lines. It seems like they've got about 2 or 3 different lines they can run in the corners here as of right now. Track not fully rubbered in yet. That'll happen as we move further on in this race and get more green flag laps.
I see Nelson Rivera trying to move forward. He's gonna pass John Higman. Ooh, Foddy trying to get by Simley. This is for 5th place. Looked like he had to run down the backstretch and maybe overshot turn 3 and really lost his momentum.
Yeah, and you lose your momentum here. It takes you a minute to get that back. It's definitely going to affect the next straightaway. So hopefully Seth can have a good 1 and 2. This is the highest we've really seen anybody run up in that third lane. And so far, up to this point, he's made it work pretty well.
Yeah, no kidding. Had a really nice hole shot down the backstretch. Looks like he's going to try it in 3 and 4 as well. See if he gains that 10th back he lost.
Yeah, the trick for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are so different because the front or the back straightaway is banked significantly less than the front straightaway. So you're kind of having to almost kind of approach this like a short track because it's a pretty steep, pretty significant turn you got to make going into turn 3. So these guys are having to negotiate and slow down, and it makes you have to check up more than what you realize.
Speaking of checking up and everything, look at this. Brown, Donaldson, side by side the last couple laps. We've seen him in the background, and now, still going.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin Brown's going to get that spot finally up into that 8th spot, starting that 23rd spot. Slowly been making his way up through this field, and now in the top 10. Able to clear Donaldson, but it looked like Wes was not quite too happy about that move there.
Yeah, the 93 really dove into turn 1 and just pulled right up in front of Wesley.
Yeah, it looks like behind them they have Josh Parker 2 laps down, and then the 22 here for position, Nelson Rivera, in that 10th position.
So far, so good. After we had those 2 quick cautions, we've been nothing but green.
Don't jinx it.
27 laps in. Yep, knocking on wood. Knocking on wood. Already doing it.
And Kevin Brown's looking to the inside here, off of 4.
Yeah, looking to move it up again. You're right, Mike.
Yeah, now they're battling here with Randy Yoakum as well. Not quite able to shoot the middle there, but he's definitely looking for a place to go with that 91 truck.
He's going to push Kevin now on the back straightaway.
Honestly, it kind of looks like Kevin kind of saved those Goodyear Eagles just a little bit, and 28 laps in, starting moving towards the front.
Yeah, and you can go about 35-ish laps here on a tank of gas here at Kentucky, so with these first couple of cautions, kind of throwing a wrench into everything here, so they'll be going a little bit past that 35 lap mark.
To give you guys a little heads up on what we got for points. Appreciate you, Gary, for doing this and putting it in our little spreadsheet here. Pedro Mojica has a 39-point lead over Wesley Donaldson. In 3rd, you have Chad Coleman minus 45. In 4th, you have Tommy Ryan minus 50. And 5th, you have Brian Macklin minus 51. So Pedro currently running in that 2nd position, trying to catch back up to Tommy Ryan. And then Wesley Donaldson currently running in that 8th position.
Yeah, Pedro's been the model of consistency so far this season in the Sim500. I know he's missed one race, but to still have missed that one single race and still have about almost a 40-point lead from first to second. That should speak volumes about his driving. Even if he has missed a race, what he's able to do week in and week out.
And two of those guys in the top 5 in points, Coleman and Macklin, have both been involved in accidents tonight as well, so that's going to kind of hurt their points.
Yeah, right now you got Chad Coleman in 26th, 1 lap down, and Macklin, he's gone. He's out of the race. Unfortunate incident on lap number 1, but I guess there was too much damage to that number 30 Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, you want to try. I've always been under the model of finish the race as best you can, even with the damage, because you want to gather as many points as you can. So
Josh Parker on pit road.
Yep, as he's on pit road and gone. He said,
just
"See you later."
Alt that forward.
Yep.
There goes my pick, boys.
Yeah, definitely not been his night tonight. But yeah, you definitely wanted to finish the race as best you can and get all the points you can. So even with damage, I always try to be the model of you got to finish the race under as many circumstances as you can. But sometimes you get involved in these wrecks, you blow your engine, that's 40 minutes worth of repairs. So sometimes you really just don't want to wait around for that 40 minutes, and that's totally understandable.
Well, depending on where that happens in the race is going to be over by that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in a league like Sim500, usually that 40 minutes, you're looking at a place like here, you're missing over half the race. So
yeah, absolutely. As you saw, a great pass by Nelson Rivera by Randy Yoakum. Randy starting to fall back after that early charge.
Yeah, still in that top 10 though, so still making a good run of it, but definitely probably used a little bit
3
too
wide
much
back
of
here.
stuff. Yeah, 3 wide again. We got Beasley, we got the 75, and can't tell who the truck is on the bottom. Oh, Brian Wortman. All right here, battling for that 19th position. Brian got the best spot here so far. Hooking that yellow line. And
nice.
And if you hook that yellow line just right here, even Scott could probably initiate to this in the chat. You hook that yellow line just right here, you could get some pretty good runs.
Yeah, well, we saw that Workman with a great launch out of 4. Makes it 2 wide, and he's going to try to pass the 75.
Yeah, he's been working on that for the last couple laps, as you can see here. Look at Beasley trying to shoot that gap in the middle. Looks like Brian's going to be able to complete that pass on the 75. With a little bit of an assist there from Beasley. Beasley now going to try to look to the inside of the 74.
Oh, he's going to definitely try to put it there. Left the room, but Wortman with, wow, really good 1 and 2 run in the middle lane.
Had a really good drive off right there at the exit of turn 2. All that for 20th, guys. These guys race their hearts out no matter where they're at in the field.
That was a heck of a battle for 20th. I don't care. Back up front, it's Tommy Ryan, Pedro Mojica, Jason Karlovich, Scott Simley, and Mike Montesi, your top 5. Gary, looking at lap times, we are 2 seconds off from where we started this race.
Yeah, that's
2 seconds.
Yeah, that's a big drop off. I mean, we're looking here. I was looking at Jason's fastest lap is a 32.72. He laid that down on lap 13 after our second caution. That last lap by, he ran a 34.35. So just about 2 seconds. Definitely a second and a half at least. But yeah, these guys are going to be screaming for tires here. They'll be probably pitting here within the next 5 or so laps, I would imagine.
Dude, I'd be screaming for tires about 10 laps ago, the way I drive.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of patience to save your tires here at Kentucky.
Pit stops are starting. Seth Foudy and Kevin Brown. Oh, Kevin Brown is sideways here on the entrance to pit road. He got it locked down, and him and Foudy are on pit road. Kevin Brown about lost it right there. He was sideways coming into pit road.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing we talk about here at Sim500. Best way to gain track position is, woo,
Whoa!
oh, your entry and exit of pit road. We've definitely seen a lot of races on iRacing. Doesn't matter if it's this league or in their officials or whatever they're doing. Uh, you know, the most time that you can gain is how you get into the pits and how you come out of the pits.
Also, don't overshoot your box.
Yeah, we've seen that cost some drivers as well. Dalton last week, we did a race at Michigan in the Gen 4 Cup car. He slid through his box not once but twice on green flag pit stops and lost the race by 11 seconds. And we calculated it. He would have won the race by 4 seconds if he didn't have to back up the stall twice. So he was kicking himself a little bit for that. But hey, you know what? That's racing. You live, you learn, you move on to the next week.
And we've all done that
Absolutely.
too. We've all missed our pit box or slid through our pit box.
Sometimes I do it more than once in one race.
Yeah. If you get a lot of cautions, you can typically get away with that. But if you get a lot of green flag racing, sliding through the box, that can absolutely just kill you.
Donaldson trying to get by Montesi. Try to gain as many positions as possible before hitting that pit road.
Yeah, and you can really start to tell Wes here his truck is really starting to come in over the last couple laps. I think I heard the 2 truck is going to be making a pit stop here.
That would be Mike Kelly.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be making it this go around.
Now, how hard is this pit road to get onto?
Pretty hard. I mean, you look at that yellow commitment line, and that yellow cone. That's where pit speed starts. So you really have to mind your P's and Q's. Maybe Mike Kelly wasn't
2 truck
there.
out.
But I mean, it's really hard coming down pit road here. I mean, you got to watch. That yellow cone comes up on you pretty quick. So if you don't hit, I believe it's 50 miles an hour here tonight for pit speed. It is. If you don't hit that 50 miles an hour at that yellow cone, you'll get popped for speeding.
Yeah, and I think that's what Kevin Brown did, because he is just about 2 laps down. I think he got caught for speeding.
Yeah, and usually if you get caught for speeding, you'll have to make either you'll get held for 40 seconds, or you got to come back around and get held for 40 seconds. So definitely killed his night.
Tommy Ryan still on the track. Joe Hudson, outside of the top 10, is the only, or inside the top 10, the only driver to actually make a pit stop tonight. He pit on our second caution of the evening on lap 8.
Yeah, so he can go a little bit further than some of these guys here in our top 10, and they'll be he could stay out a little bit, and maybe he could work some strategy out where if there's a caution during these green flag cycle pit stops, it'll work out for him.
Seems like those 2 cautions really helped everybody out. What is it, 45? We're on 45?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
5 laps from halfway.
So it looks like to what we had for a fuel window, because of those cautions, they've gone an extra 7 laps. They were supposed to from 32 to 37. Well, it's 45, so...
Yeah, they've really been able to extend their fuel window here a little bit. Still going to be one more stop possibly to the end. We've seen some guys try to go 50 laps here at Kentucky before in a truck. Not easy by any stretch, but...
oh, we were 3 wide again.
Yeah, we were 3 wide again.
I would assume that because we're hitting some slower speeds and everything, having them make these lap times, they're probably saving a little extra fuel.
Yeah, they are saving a little bit extra fuel because, I mean, the pace is just falling off because the tires aren't as good. So you're definitely out of the gas a little bit longer than you normally would on good tires.
And just as everybody has worn tires, Kevin Brown driving by people like they are stopped.
Yeah, he's definitely got them 4 tires, and he's not afraid to use them.
Yeah, well, he's 2 laps down, so he's really gonna need to put them to use
Yeah, he's
to at
really
least
gonna
get
have to push the pace to at least make up one of his laps.
to be a lucky dog.
Yeah, even if he gets back to one lap down, he's still got to pass Chad Coleman, EJ O'Rourke, Doug Roth, and Seth Foddy.
And Seth Foddy is the driver who did pit with Kevin Brown on that lap 38.
Yeah, here in Kentucky, you'll definitely lose at least one lap during green flag.
Oh boy, Mojica has caught Ryan. This is heating up right before pit stops.
Yeah, Pedro's done a really both these guys have done a pretty good job at saving their stuff, but Pedro just always is able to take it to that next level. Yeah, he is right there, up on the bumper there of that 99 truck. Let's see if Pedro can make a pass here.
I'd be trying for it. And there goes Seth Foddy to the inside of Mojica. O'Rourke on pit road.
Seth's got that those new tires. EJ coming into the pits here. Yeah, and just look how Seth is able to hug that yellow line all the way through the corner.
And he just unlapped himself.
Yep, and he's going to put himself back on the lead lap. So the next Lucky Dog candidate is going to be Doug Roth.
As he's coming down pit road right now. So's John Higman.
Here comes Pedro Mojica, boys. He's in from second.
Yeah, it looked like he left some smoke behind with him, too.
Yeah, tire fart.
He did get it down to 50, though. He got it down
Randall
to
Watkins.
47. Yeah, and you see that pit road entry cone right there at the exit of 4. So very, very tough pit road to navigate. Let's see if Tommy's going to come in this time or not. Looks like he is. Had to lock him up pretty big there.
Oh boy.
And that's the
Really
got to
be careful with that.
Practicing your pit road entry like that. You got hot tires or worn out, and you know a lot of the times you get those marbles down there on the apron, and so you're running through that too because not a whole lot of people run the apron, if at all here. So, you know you gotta be able to do that. Oh, and by the way, you're almost out of gas too.
Yeah, so you might not be able to afford to miss your pit stall and have to drive all the way back around, as Seth Foddy's going to pass everybody on pit road. He's going to sit in 12th for the time being, but he should come out your race leader when everything cycles through. For how long? No clue. Mike Kelly on pit road, and so is Steve Ritter.
Yeah, and it depends too on how he saved his stuff compared to everybody else. Because if he was able to unlap himself, I would imagine he was driving pretty hard there at the beginning of that run. Look at Scott Simley on pit road here.
There you go. That's a really good entrance. Might be a little slow, but great entrance for Simley.
Yeah, a little bit conservative, but hey, you know what? You don't have to stay up against all the way to the right on your green flag stops, so he can hug that inside line and cut some distance off that lap. We got Nelson Rivera here. He's the new race leader. He's going to be pitting. And 77, his teammate, is also going to be making a pit stop this go around. Let's watch
That's
Nelson
Robert
get
Fury.
up off the track here.
Great job.
Oh,
Here
we
comes
got a
everybody.
group here.
Hudson, Montesi, Fury.
And look at Fieri. He was able to actually make up some time on Montesi and Joe Hudson there.
That's going to put Doug Sigmund to the point. Followed by Brian Wortman.
Yeah, Workman going to be in that second position there. About 4.5 seconds behind the race leader. Look at Sigmund. Look how high he's running up on this racetrack now. All the way up in the 4th or 5th lane. Somebody's got to break it in. Why not him?
Yeah, no kidding. Good job for Wortman. You know, if you're going to do what everybody else does, you're just going to be right where you are. I know he's hoping for a caution, but throwing that Hail Mary sometimes works out, but
And if
I
you
don't
look
know,
at Doug,
might not
they
here.
both started 30th and 31st tonight. I know on that second caution, Brian Wortman came in and topped off on gasoline there, so able to run a little bit longer than everybody else. And he's always kind of been one of those drivers that'll play the strategy game. So, and he's staying out here.
Yes,
And he's
yes, he
gonna
is
take
a
the lead, and
Sigmund.
he's going to get credit for a lap led.
There you go. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down pit road here.
He's coming
Yep,
in this time.
he is going to come in this time by. So, and that will hand the lead off when Brian does decide to pit to Seth.
Happy I called that one. Happy to be right for once. Got it. Cool. But Pedro, on the other hand, is just about a second behind and driving like a bat out of hell.
Yeah. Pedro is definitely in his tire tracks there.
13 lap fresher tires Pedro Mojica has over Seth Foddy.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but at this worn out racetrack, that is a lot of laps.
Gonna feel like Superman.
Yeah, he's gonna be feeling pretty good here. I think
Trouble
there's
front
not gonna-
straightaway. Steve Ritter's in the grass. He saved it. He had contact from J. Randall Watkins, and they saved it.
and
Ritter
no
was-
caution.
Yeah, Ritter was in the grass after made contact with Watkins
See,
off of 4.
agricultural racing here. Oh, looks like Jay Randall hit the fence there, and Ritter had nowhere to go. But
was a
nice
great save.
save.
Yeah, it was a great save.
Ooh! Almost got door checked by Montesi, too.
And that turn 4 wall loves to bite you at this racetrack, because if you're not, you wash up in these trucks, and it's going to come out and bite you.
Yeah, you think you have a lot of room there at the exit of turn 4, but if you're running higher up on the racetrack, like in that 3rd or 4th lane, you don't have a whole lot of room there, so it can get pretty tight, and that outside wall is very enticing. But I can promise you, it's not going to go anywhere. That wall's been there for 20 years.
Gary with the comedy tonight. He'll be here all week or every Wednesday.
That's right.
Not next week. Next week,
Next
the
week
Sim
we're off.
500, along with the Extreme Forces Racing League on Monday. They are celebrating Labor Day, so no races next week, but we will have streams out for everybody to enjoy.
And make sure everybody enjoys their holiday weekend this weekend, too.
That's right.
If you're going to drink, please drink responsibly.
Don't be an AJ.
Hey, I'm home 99% of the time, and I'm usually on iRacing doing that.
That's fair. That's fair.
You could be Peyton at the bar.
I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
No. Don't wish that on him.
I'd love to do another 24 hours of beers. Karlovich in 5th, looking to get 4th with Donaldson right in front of him.
bunch of no Garys in the chat there. I don't know what they're saying no Gary to, but you know,
Don't be an AJ. I don't know.
probably.
And look at Seth Foddy. You know, all that hard work, which I would throw in very hard work to gain all those positions. He's going to lose a little bit, but then I feel like he's going to be set up for the final run. When he comes down pit road, I feel like everybody else is going to also have to come down pit road. So he was able to hold the lead for just about 4 or 5 laps. Who knows? That might be enough for him to win this race or even finish a podium.
Yeah, so he's gonna fall back to 5th here. But yeah, he should be able to cut that last run short a little bit, do some short pitting. We saw him do that for this particular pit stop. They will have to pit one more time for gas, I do believe. So now he can just pit a little shorter, and if he takes care of his tires a little bit better when he first comes out of the pits, he might be able to sneak one here.
Bentley Glazer, fastest lap of the day. Unfortunately, he's about 44 laps down.
Yeah, got a good-looking race truck, though.
Do we know what happened to Kevin Brown? Why he left the racetrack?
Probably got tired of everybody's BS, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Yeah, you see Pedro had a really good pit road entry and exit, as you can see there. He's got a 2.2-second lead over Tommy Ryan.
And it's been growing the last couple laps. As I say that, Tommy Ryan closes in just a tad.
Yeah, it seems like he's better at one end of the racetrack than the other compared to Pedro, but it seems like off of 4, that's where Tommy's been really, really stout.
A really good lap time for Ryan there. 0.2 faster than Mojica.
Yeah, and
Gonna cut it under 2 seconds.
Yeah, and Pedro, I'm not saying he burned his stuff up, but you could tell the difference in tires between those two trucks.
Karlovich and Donaldson still having a good battle for third. Gonna drop a little bit further back. Yeah, Hudson, Montesi, and Higman. This is for 9th, 10th, and 11th. As Montesi, Hudson goes side by side into turn 3. 6 truck's gonna send it in there.
Montesi already a little bit of right side damage from earlier.
It doesn't seem to be hurting it too bad. He's still within that top 10. But, you know, with that damage, it has to be a huge fight to even try to hold the top 10 right now.
Yeah, you also got a pretty decent battle here between the 2 and the 22. Not side by side, but nose to tail. But you can tell Nelson's trying to figure out how he can get around this 2 truck. And setting up a pass here at Kentucky can be pretty difficult because you get a lot of the aero push in these trucks pretty well. So he's trying to figure out, okay, where can I go that he's not, and probably make a pass for position here.
Oh, Chad Coleman just got on the back bumper of Joe Hudson in turn 1 right there. Sounds like a little friendly tap or something.
Ooh, Joe's like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Joe was not happy.
What are you doing, step bro?
Oh,
We talking about Joe Hudson?
Yeah, Joe
Yeah.
Hudson, he was not happy.
Yeah,
with
Chad Coleman and Joe Hudson there. I guess they had a little bit of contact. Chad kind of gave Joe a nice little push in the corner, I guess, and wasn't too happy about it. Of course, Chad running a couple laps, 4 laps down here in 25th, while Joe's inside the top 10,
Well, the
running in
interesting-
10th.
Death body, pit road.
Oh no!
Oh!
That might go.
That is the race for Seth right there.
Unless he
probably.
gets a yellow, maybe.
Yeah,
Now,
I
would
think we burned up our yellow luck here tonight on those, just from
So-
earlier.
Question there, Gary. When he crossed that white line there, would that give him a unsafe pit exit?
Or unsafe pit entry? Maybe. It just depends. I think it's if the tires cross that, it might rule it. We'll have to see how
Rickman
iRacing
Racing
decides to rule that there.
Hope your move is going well. 2 early cautions within the first 10 laps, but other than that, it has been battle after battle after battle. Mojica, your race leader, Ryan, Donaldson, Karlovich, and Simley, your top 5. We've had a lot of leaders tonight, with drivers wanting to run the risk of staying out as long as possible. But overall, great race. Hopefully the move is going well. Nelson Rivera shoving Mike Kelly down the front stretch.
Yeah, even Scott alluded to it there. 2 early cautions, but good racing overall, and I would have to agree. We've been able to find some pretty good battles here so far throughout the field. You see Nelson all over the back bumper of that number 2 machine now of Mike Kelly.
I think he's trying to set him up here.
Yeah, and
Oh,
even
and here comes Seth Body.
Yep, here comes Seth. He's got new tires.
Oh, he's gonna make it 3 wide to the outside. Looks like.
Almost made 3 wide, not quite, but yeah. Nelson was like, "Oh, I see you. I'm gonna get out of the way." But yeah, I'm also starting to see a battle develop for our lead here, gentlemen. Tommy Ryan is now within a second of Pedro. Looks like Pedro just put Sigmund a lap down there in the 04. So now Tommy's going to be setting sail, and I don't think Sigmund's really going to give it up without a fight here. Running P17 just got a lap down, so he's going to try and see what he could do to stay on that lead lap.
Yeah, that 99 is really starting to put lap time after lap time after lap time together. Well under a second now to Pedro Mojica, as you guys can see on timing and scoring on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, now they're within the same frame now, so it's going to get pretty close here. 25 laps of racing to go here at Kentucky.
Already? Wow.
Flying
Yes,
by.
sir. Yeah, we had those first 2 cautions within the first 10 laps, but since then it's been pretty green. Not surprising.
I love having green flag pit stops. It adds so much more to somebody's strategy if we're able to see it.
Yep, that's why seeing green flag racing. That's why I've always loved it about NASCAR before they went to stage racing. You really got to see the strategy unfold during a race. That's why I like watching IndyCar nowadays, because you really get to see the different kind of pit strategies unfold. And you saw Scott Dixon whip everybody's butt at Gateway the other day because he took 2 less pit stops than everybody else the whole race, and almost won by a full lap.
Yeah, Gary, Scott Ramler in the chat, in the YouTube chat, great point there. But I'm going to run it by you because I don't know if it's really going to work. Ryan needs to get right to the bumper of Mojica and then pit. Do you think that will benefit Ryan, or do you think Ryan needs to pass
it will,
Mojica
because it
and
kind
then
of
pit?
gives Mojica that little bit of intimidation factor there, thinking, "Oh my gosh, Ryan's caught up to me." He decided to go ahead and pit. That means he's going to be 2 seconds faster when he comes out. I better go in and pit myself. So I think that does play a big advantage there for Ryan. He kind of controls his destiny right here.
All right. See, this is why I call you the best crew chief.
Well, and I
we
also
got in
learned that
Hutchport.
from Scott, a few times. We started working on that together when I was a crew chief for him a lot in another league, and he would get to within a second of somebody or within a couple car lengths, and I would call him in early to pit, try to get that tire advantage and also lap time. It's a lot more of a math game and lap time game than what people think on iRacing.
Absolutely. I see Mike Kelly.
Still being very smooth with his wheel inputs. Meanwhile, he's got to deal with Nelson Rivera behind him as well. Yeah, Rickman Racing here saying, "I love green flag pit stops. Well, I love green flag runs. I always tend to bungle a good run on a pit stop." Yeah, well, he says done it 3 times this season already. Yeah, well, it happens. It definitely does happen. Yeah, and that's what I like to do in practice a lot too, AJ, for league races and that kind of thing. Practicing getting on and off pit road.
Absolutely. Only way to do it is if you practice it.
Nelson there, he had a really good run off of turn 4 there. Was able to get up to the bumper of Kelly. Well, it looks like the gap here, AJ, between Pedro and Tommy is kind of evened out here, about 0.8 of a second.
Yeah. It kind of peaked at about 0.7, and I don't know. It kind of looks like Pedro Mojica's starting to pull away just a little bit.
Yeah, starting to pull away again just a little bit. Tommy able to get a decent run down that straightaway. Had a pretty good corner. Now he's having another good corner here in 3 and 4. Able to knock in some of that lead, but it's been pretty consistent. Anywhere between 0.75 to about 0.8. Around in that ballpark there.
They are in the window to come down and make it to the end.
Oh, they've been well within the window the last 10 laps to make it to the end.
I know, I was just stating the obvious.
Yeah, that pit window's been open for a while. And who knows? I mean, we might try to see some guys try to make it to the end on one stop. We've seen it here before, but...
I still can't wait to see where that 26 is going to end up. He's running about a second a lap fast, just about, maybe a little under than the leaders and everybody in that top 10, top 15. So I'd be really curious to see where Foddy's going to end up. But it really... I'm really excited to see if that pit road incident on entry is going to mess with him or not.
Yeah, I mean, so far he's worked up to that 18th spot, 1 lap down. But Doug Sigmund, I know he's a lap down to 17th, but these guys really, the top 2, really haven't pulled away from Doug as much as I thought they would. But
No, they haven't.
Seth Foddy is about to blow the doors off of this 04 truck.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to see that momentarily. He's getting right behind him.
Yeah, one thing that Seth doesn't want to see right now is the yellow flag.
At least get in front of Sigmund before it comes out, if it does.
That's right. That's right. That way you get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap and put 4 more tires on that thing.
I got an Atomic Burrito in the YouTube chat saying they are not pitting again.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to try it. We know somebody in this field is going to take that gamble.
Seth is trying it. I don't think he's going to have enough laps, so.
If they're not pitting again, they pit on 51. And that was with 2 cautions in the first 10 laps. So that means they realistically went just about 45-ish laps on real fuel.
Yeah, I mean, 45 laps on a tank here, and then, you're adding those 5 laps, like Scott's saying here. Pretty easy to do, so these guys might be able to make it here to the end. 49 or 50 laps, pretty easy to come by.
Darn. I was kind of hoping we would see another pit cycle to see what strategy gets used as. Oh, Rivera and Kelly side by side in 3 and 4.
Yep, and Seth Foddy was able to get Tommy to close in on Pedro, but now Seth is going to be making that move to the inside of Tommy right here, as we're seeing this battle here between the 22 and the 2 heat up. This is really causing Tommy a lot of lap time here. If he can just get behind this 26 and maybe use him a little bit as a drafting partner to get up to that 58.
Joe, you are 100% correct. Math hurts my brain.
Me too, bud. Me too, boss.
Seven-tenths of a second separating Mojica and Ryan.
Yeah, let's see how much of a fight Seth is going to put up to unlap himself over here, over Pedro. Got 11 laps to go here at the start-finish line. Seth all over the back bumper of Pedro right here.
Yeah, no kidding. Wants his lap back, and he wants it now.
Yes, sir, he does, and that's going to cause that 99 to reel back in just a little bit.
Especially since they're side by side.
Not by much, though. Seth was able to clear him pretty easily. Pedro all over the back bumper of that 26 truck.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to try and bumper hook him there for a second.
I thought we were going to go see a Pat McAfee punt job.
Absolutely.
I know you appreciated that one, Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best punter to ever play.
One of them. There's also an Oakland punter by the name of Ray Guy. He was pretty good back in the day.
Like, what's back in the day?
70s and 80s.
Yep, wasn't even a twinkle in my father's eye, and neither were you.
Yep.
Yep. All I know is don't mess with the 86 Bears. That's it.
85.
85?
See, now you made Joe mad again.
At least I said the Bears.
That's true.
It's Da Bears.
Da Bears. Suck.
Ooh.
I said it out loud, I know. So do the Colts. They're fine. They're the Olts.
Joe Hudson, Mike Montesi, and it looks like we got
Oh,
Robert
Joe
Fieri all
Hudson.
under a blanket.
Again?
Hudson gave Coleman a bump back in the back straightaway, right to his back bumper. That was some excitement right there. I mean, he drove up and pounded that.
Well,
back bumper.
remember their incident earlier in the race as well.
Yeah, I don't think these guys are happy with each other here. If we
Gonna
had a
see it
radio
again.
sweetheart, it'd be amongst these two. Speedway, Illinois. Pat McAfee, the wrestling guy?
Yes.
Oh, they're
Yes, Ryan.
they're
Oh.
making contact almost.
Ooh.
Well, where's TJ when you need him? Because we might be seeing some chaos.
Chaos!
There comes Robert Fieri diving in
He's
there.
good. Oh, that's for position two. Robert Fieri and Joe Hudson, I believe. I believe that's for position.
Yeah, Hudson with Coleman really let Fury get right back to Joe Hudson there, and now it might cost them a spot as we're going to go into turn one here.
Yeah, I think Joe was too focused on getting back to the bumper of the 38 instead of focusing on his own race. You're having a good run to the top 10. You can't let these guys affect you. Don't give them your energy, and see, that's where it's affecting.
He tried. I
And
thought
Joe still ain't done with that 38. He sees red right now.
he got the blinders on.
He got the blinders on. That's going to
And
cost him a
Fieri-
spot here to Fieri.
Fury gets by.
Fury's hope now is that he can get around this 38 and this 10 truck with no problems. So I believe the 38 and the 10, I think they're in the battle of their own? No, they're not even on the same lap. Never mind.
Wow, we're already... Holy cow,
We're
already
laps
five to go.
Yep, and Pedro has been able to extend his gap now. It's now second and a half, almost second and 3/4 over Tommy Ryan.
Going back to 15th, you got Stone, Body, Schweinhardt, 3 wide into 1.
Woo!
This is tight. This is tight back here.
3 wide, 4 trucks. Look at this.
And this is right out in front of your leader too, the Pedro.
Oh yeah, and Pedro's got a front row seat of all this action.
Here we go. There they are on the wall. They're on the
Caution.
wall.
Chaos.
Oh, chaos is coming now.
Look at the
Wow,
17. I think there was a good old bumper hook right there. Yeah, you
Ooh,
see
17
right
just
there.
comes right down.
Yeah, right down on that truck, and it caused him to turn like. Didn't necessarily break a steering or anything.
You know, that doesn't happen often on the channel, that we switch to a group of drivers and that immediately happens.
It was boiling for a few laps there. The guys back there in the back of the field were racing so
Yeah, they were
aggressively.
racing really hard to try and maintain their spot on the lead lap and not get lapped.
On board with Randall Watkins.
Yeah, I'm bored with that. Ooh. Ooh,
Oh.
he maybe hooked from behind first? It's hard telling.
That's very hard to tell. I think he-
Definitely a hard hit there for the 27.
I think with the 17 basically cutting them off, you know, that doesn't help because you're adjusting off of that, and with
Leaders-
Schweinhardt right there.
leaders are down pit road.
Yep, leaders down pit road. That was a pretty obvious strategy call. Now, instead of limping it home to the line here in the last couple laps, now we have a green-white checkered. That's going to be a 2-lap dash. And they get 2 attempts to see if they can figure it out.
Ding, ding, ding.
Karlovich had a really good pit road entry there. We'll see if he can get back up into the top 5. The pole sitter here got a really good pit selection. Here comes Karlovich. Here comes Tommy Ryan. Pedro with the slower stop because he went through the box.
Donaldson P2.
Donaldson P2 there. What was his pit time there, AJ? See if he took 2.
I'm looking for it. Give me a sec. Fill the air.
While AJ's looking for that, we're going to see that obviously Wes is
10.6.
10.6. Well, I think that's 4 tires. Definitely didn't take any fuel there.
But great job for Wesley.
Yeah, had a really good pit entry there and pit exit, obviously. I mean, shoot, went up to that second spot. This
He's
is
going
going
to
to
be
shove
set
Pedro
up
back
for
to
a
the
top
4th
5.
position. Karlovich up to 3rd now. Not a clutch moment for Pedro, but he is pretty good on the short runs here, so he's going to have 2 laps to get up there and take the win back, but...
What are you kidding? Pedro's good on the short run, the mid run, the long run.
He's good
getting
on
on
everything.
pit road, getting off pit road.
I know. It's gonna be a chaotic restart. I would expect 3 and 4 wide going into 1 here.
Oh yeah.
Especially with our mid-pack guys. If they're reckoning for, top 15, on with the leader coming, they'll it's gonna be chaos here this next restart, I think.
Still need to get a graphic made so I can put that on it. Joe, I need a chaos graphic. Like it just saying I want chaos that I can put on a T-shirt.
Joe Hutchings, you put that on a T-shirt.
And if you want one, we'll sell it on our store.
Just like that TNT guy on Inside the NBA. They always tell him to put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Probably the best theme song in sports was the NBA on TNT.
Oh,
It's up there.
it's up there.
It is up there.
Scott says, nope, that's 2. What? Context. We need context. But it looks like our
Joe,
race leaders...
Fine. I could just see his head going like, fine. Let me do it. Here you go, AJ.
I mean, to be fair, if he wanted to make a caution cow one, I would still put that on a shirt. Tommy Ryan, your race leader.
Yeah.
2nd, Wesley Donaldson. Karlovich, 3rd. Mojica, 4th. 5th, you have Nelson Rivera. Stimley, Kelly, Montesi, Fury, and Hudson, the rest of your top 10.
Oh, I think Scott is trying to say the 91 took 2 because of the short pit stop that he had there. 10 seconds probably took 2 right sides.
Then he said the 99 took 2 tires.
I think the 99 took. Well, he could have taken 2 as well. This possibility. We might have had a lot of 2-tire stops here.
Well, we're gonna see if it works.
You only
That's
gotta
one
make
thing
it
I
work
wish
for 2 laps. So
That's one thing I wish we had with SDK to actually tell us if they took 2 or took 4.
yeah, for sure. All right, moment of truth. They're going on the green. First of 2 green-white checkers.
Oh,
Green flag is in the air.
Oh God, Donaldson did not find the gas pedal.
Yeah, Donaldson didn't find the gas pedal. Here comes Pedro. He's looking to make it 3 wide. Couldn't quite get it done. Now he's going to swing to the low side. Here he comes. They're going to be 3 wide coming off of 2.
It's exactly what Ryan wants to see.
Yep, that's exactly what Ryan wants to see right there. He's going to be the leader. These guys are 3 wide, 2 and 3 wide behind him. White flag is in the flagman's hand. Ooh.
And that means it's the Fair Play WrestleFest final lap.
Able to make it stick through turns 1 and 2. Pedro finally was able to shake way of the battle for third here. Can he get to the 99? I don't think he's going to have enough time here, boys. Oh, maybe not. Here he comes. Full send.
Oh.
Can he make it stick? Not going to be able to get there. It's going to be Tommy Ryan that wins in the Bluegrass State. He's going to win at Kentucky.
Followed by Pedro Mojica and Jason Karlovich.
Great race.
Absolutely a great race. Stay tuned. We're going to get to talking to our podium finishers.
Oh, big crash after the checkered here. 8 to 6, 41 involved. Everybody's involved right here.
I'm curious what happened.
They're 3 wide coming out of 4.
And they're 3 wide going into 1, too.
Six and the 8 bounced off each other there. Oh, then the 6 right rears the 8, causing a big crash.
The 77 gave him a little shove into the 6, and the 6 was like, "You ain't gonna hit me." And now the 88's team.
Oh my!
The 88. Oh.
Tommy Ryan just got wrecked by while he was trying to do burnouts.
Well, that's not cool.
I don't know if that was a joke or I don't know what that was, but that was like, I don't know what this is about. I just saw this.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh, Beasley there. Beasley.
Oh. Ow, that looked like it hurt. Well, let's see if we got anybody waiting in the waiting room for us.
Boy, we had the drama going on in voice chat right now.
Chat's getting juicy here. Pull the people.
Well, we currently don't have anybody in the waiting room.
Pedro was mad. Chad was mad. Then Joe Hudson was mad.
As I say, keep it PG, but tell us.
Well, basically, one of them said, "Give me your address and I'll come kick your butt." That's PG. That's as PG.
And there's a fight.
That's about as PG as I can get it, boys.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can put 2 and 2 together there.
Who else? Karlovich? Where the heck is he?
Well, let's talk to our P1 finisher, the driver, the number 99. It's going to be Tommy Ryan. Hey, Tommy, it's AJ, Gary, and Mike in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, pal?
Yeah, man.
Holy cow. What a race for that number 99 Chevy Silverado. Tell us about it.
The thing was really tight, so I was just kind of hang on and just take care of the tires. But I knew that clean air was going to be so important. So I didn't let Jason or I can't remember who was leading at the time. Yeah, it was Jason. Couldn't even, I didn't want him to get away, and I wanted clean air. So once I got there, all I needed to do was just kind of maintain. And of course, when him and Pedro got in dirty air, they really couldn't get back to me. But obviously, Pedro did. And then he pitted before I did, which gave him the track position. And then I was just like, well, it is what it is. I'm just going to have to ride here and take care of my tires. And inched back up there to him. And then traffic started coming and the tires went away. And caution came out. Unfortunately, I was ready for it at the end. But I just made a 2-tire strategy at the end of the final stop and got track position back and sailed away.
Yeah, great race overall. What was the strategy on that last pit stop? 2 tires?
Yeah. I took enough gas just long enough for the jack to drop, and as soon as the jack dropped, we pulled the can out and I was gone. So I left with about 9 gallons in it, which still kind of made it a little bit too loose. I was kind of tight on entry, and then it would just start slinging the rear around. So it was just, I had to wheel it. I don't know if you guys could see that on the broadcast or not, but
we were watching it the whole time. It looked like half the field was wheeling it there on that green-white checkered. But in 2 weeks, we go to Darlington Raceway after we have the Labor Day break. what are you expecting going to Darlington, South Carolina?
I love that place. In the sim and in real life, I'll be down there this weekend. My favorite track of pretty much the whole schedule. Um, I don't necessarily. I mean, I do okay there. I'm usually a top 8 truck, I'll say, or car, no matter what I'm in. I kind of understand what you got to do there. It's changed over the years of, depending on where iRacing has put grip, but it's very challenging. It's just really fun for whatever reason. I just you got to work at it. And usually I like kind of a lazier track, but for some reason I love that place, man. So look very forward to going there. We should have some really good racing.
All right, brother. Before we let you go and celebrate the victory here tonight at Kentucky Speedway, that's gonna get blown up in the chat now. Got any sponsors you'd like to thank? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I got Virginia811.com on the truck and Northern Tool and Equipment. And I always say, before you go digging in your yard, make sure you call the number. And before you even think about calling the number, go to Northern Tool and get all your shovels and everything you need to do that stuff with. So we need to sell. So please, northerntool.com and go get everything you need.
Yeah, in a lot of states, that's the law. Call before you dig.
Yep.
So thanks, Tommy Ryan, for coming and talking with us. You have a wonderful rest of your night and a wonderful week off next week.
Hey guys, see ya.
See you later. All right, Gary, we're going to give you P number 2. That's Pedro Mojica. Take it away.
All right. Well, Pedro, definitely not the finish you were looking for. Talk about, last couple laps there, lean into that green, white checkered. Was there anything else you could have done different to maybe possibly take home this win tonight?
I mean, get by Wesley and Jason sooner, I guess. I practically took a whole lap to get around them, which I needed to get around them coming off a 2 to have a chance, and I couldn't. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, that was pretty much the difference, because I think if I would have had another lap, or at least another half lap, I could have got the Tommy, because I gained a ton in 1 and 2 on the last lap, and 3 and 4 I was practically there, but just ran out of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunate for you, you still had a great run tonight, coming home in second. Well, off next week, Darlington next week. That is definitely a driver's track. You have to race the racetrack there before you can start racing your competitors. How do you feel about Darlington next here in 2 weeks?
I mean, I like it. I mean, we did good in the Cup car, so I mean, I think it'll be a fun race. Hopefully the setup's like decent, so it'll make it entertaining, and saving tires will actually mean something. So, I'll see. I like Darlington for the most part, just because of the challenge that it presents. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
All righty. Well, any shout outs or things you want to give before we let you go celebrate P2?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate TranService for sponsoring this series. They sponsor me in the Cup Series also, and the Xfinity Series. So appreciate them and Glenn Campbell for everything they do for our league. All the admins at Sim500, appreciate them, everything they do. Good to Tommy. I mean, he was good. He was up front all race, and he had the right strategy call at the end. I thought about taking 2 for a second, but I figured 4 tires would just be king, which just ran out of time. But anyways, good win to him. All the guys at Team Name, appreciate them keeping it light in there. Who else? And then yeah, just the family, appreciate them for letting me come and hang out for a couple hours.
All righty, man. Well, congratulations on P2, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks.
All right, thanks.
And Mike Campiggio is down with the driver, the number 60 Toyota
Oh, wrong
Tundra.
person. I'll figure it out eventually. Hold on. There we go.
Gonna be Jason Karlovich. Mike, take it away.
Jason, it's Gary, AJ, and Mike in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Mike.
Well, man, P3 tonight. Congratulations on the P3 finish. You started on pole tonight. Just kind of talk about how the race played out for you from start to finish.
Yeah, overall, it was a decent night for the Speedway Collective Toyota. It was pretty solid. Happy with the starting spot there, and didn't really know what to expect for the long run. Was trying to save a little bit. Figured I'd drop in behind Tommy when he got by, and Pedro got by, and thought I was saving my tires, but the right front was pretty bad there. At the end of the first run, those guys were pulling away, so just thought the same thing the second run. Just wasn't really sure where I could save that right front a little bit better, but it was just getting worn out pretty quick, and then it was just super tight there at the end. I was settled on a fourth place there before the caution came out, and I was happy with that. So I'm just glad everything worked out after that green white checker there, and nobody got wrecked there up front.
For sure, for sure. It was a very clean finish as well, which was good to see. As we close the books on Kentucky and we go in 2 weeks to Darlington, what are your thoughts as we go to the Lady in Black at Darlington in a couple weeks?
Well, we'll definitely get ready to get a stripe, that's for sure. Stripe or two, just the way that goes there. But just overall, happy to be somewhat competitive. I think we're missing a little bit to get up there in victory lane, but overall, just happy to be able to run up towards the front and be able to meet you guys for the first time and talking to you here after the race. So it's pretty cool. Just good win to Pedro or Tommy, and I think Pedro had it before the caution came out. So just those two guys were the class of the field, and Wesley was pretty quick too. So just overall, pretty happy. Speedway Collective Fantasy NASCAR Toyota was strong, and hopefully we can do it again at Darlington.
Well, before we let you get out of here to celebrate this P3 finish tonight, is there anybody you want to thank? Family, friends, sponsors?
Yeah, my girlfriend Alexa might be watching over in the other room, so shout out to her if she's watching. And just yeah, shout out to the whole Sim500 racing league. It's a pretty good league. There's a lot of clean drivers in here. We started off pretty rough tonight, but we got settled in and had a pretty good race afterwards. So just thanks to you guys for putting on the production. It's fun to go back and watch. I'll definitely check it out tomorrow. And thanks to EJ O'Rourke for talking me into coming back and iRacing and getting back into this. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
Well, Jason, congratulations again on your P3 finish. Enjoy your holiday weekend and enjoy your off week next week, and we will catch you in Darlington in 2 weeks.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is the driver who finished P3, Jason Karlovich. Gary, break down the race. How was it on your end?
Well, after a chaotic finish, or a chaotic start rather, to this race, had some nice green flag racing, then a chaotic ending. Lots of drama that the admins are going to have to sort out after this one. A lot of tempers here tonight. Overall, I thought we had some really good racing here, and I am really looking forward to Darlington here in a couple weeks.
Mike, what else you got?
I think Gary summed it up pretty well, and I would think my one word for tonight, start to finish, chaos. Just pure chaos. And I know that's your thing on Monday night with TJ, but I think chaos is the perfect word to describe tonight's race. Did get a lot of good racing in the middle stages of this race, which was good to see, and I'm excited to get to Darlington in a couple weeks, and I hope you guys enjoy your Labor Day holiday weekend as well.
I mean, as long as TJ doesn't go out and copyright and trademark the word chaos, we'll be fine. We'll be good. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV tonight. The next broadcast for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series will be in 2 weeks' time from Darlington, South Carolina. The Lady in Black, same time, same place, going live around 8:15 Eastern. Hopefully we'll see you there. Stay safe, stay cool, enjoy your holiday, and thank you for tuning in. Tommy Ryan, Pedro Mojica, Jason Karlovich, your top three. We'll see you later.
Peace.
To Hogwarts, to Gotham. The nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.